Welcome back to Cactus Core Play Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. My name is Kevandre. Last time, we betrayed Tenmyoji in the last hour because Clover was kind of implying some things, and then she didn't follow through with it. We betrayed him, and she went out the number 9 door. It was very rude. We also heard a radio transmission with the Mars. It was like a test facility. They were preparing on Earth. For how it would be living on Mars, but like in Nevada, right? So that was fun. And it turns out, 6 people died in that experiment, so that wasn't so good. That's really the gist of it. Let's get back to it. Oh, and also they administered the Axolevir to Quark. Well, let's go back and pick Ally. Anything else? Green? No. Skip through this. I'm not going to pick Ally, Clover. Anything. Boom.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Ally. Betray. Ally. Better be Ally. Attaboy. Let's get the slap-a-hoe. And nobody's got 9. We Gucci.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Looks like you managed to trust me. Well, it seemed like I made the right choice. Only did what I said I would. You really helped me out. Thanks. I could say the same thing. No need for thanks. The corner of his mouth twitched into a grin. I felt myself smile a little in response. Clover, on the other hand, looked less than pleased.
That was a bad choice, Sigma. And after I told you I'd listen to anything you said. Ah well, whatever.
She sighed heavily, shot me one last annoyed look, and stalked off. Across the room, Dio and Fi were already confronting one another over their own results. You tried to kill me and Luna. Can't say I'm surprised. Oh, don't give me that. You knew exactly what I was doing. I knew you weren't stupid enough to pick Ally. You'd defend yourself with Betray, just like I would. Wait, where's Luna? In the infirmary, looking after Quark. Is that where Alice went to? Alice? No, she went into one of the AB rooms with Kay.
Yes, we did indeed enter together. When the doors opened, however, she left, somewhat unsteadily, in the direction of the cyan door.
She left the warehouse?
Indeed.
Without even checking the results?
Correct. There was little reason to check them.
Yeah, it's not like Quark was going to betray you.
Indeed.
And you two still choose Ally. Man, what a pair of bleeding hearts.
If you say so. Being mocked for my compassion is a small price to pay for retaining my humanity.
Where did Alice run off to?
While we were in the AB room, she mentioned being quite tired. Perhaps she went to one of the cabins to rest?
Oh, well, I guess that would make sense. An ominous rumble filled the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the player wishes to open them.
We can open the gates as many times as we want? Fancy.
That means the star keys can be used to play the AB game any number of times. If I understood that announcement correctly, that is.
Hey, didn't Zero Jr. say something about this?
As soon as the gates close, your colors will get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, he did. Can you guys all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all our colors and groups are this time. Within moments, a series of wrists were extended for me to examine. I'm not even gonna try to guess who's who. Huh? It looks like all the colors are weird. Clover is a cyan pair, and Phi is a magenta pair, but Tenmyoji is a yellow pair.
The 3 solos are red, green, and blue. K's red, Dio's green, and you're blue.
Then how are we supposed to group up for the chromatic doors? I think you're gonna be white this time.
Ah yes, Dio told me about them. Very interesting.
Yeah, they're white, all of them. I had a good look while I was down waiting for Sigma to show up down in the warehouse. You should have seen them too, Phi. Yeah, I did. You're talking about the doors in the floor B warehouse, right? Yeah, so lay it on us. How are the groups going to shake out this time? Phi nodded and began to explain. Option A, Tenmyoji yellow and me blue would form one group. Phi magenta and Dio green would form another group. Clover cyan and K red would form the third. Huh? Wait, you mean there's only one option? Yeah. There's no other way we can group up to make white. Alice, Luna, and Quark aren't here to show us their bracelets, so we don't know for sure what their colors are. But it's pretty clear that they'll all be pairs, since none of the pairs have a partner. So they'll be yellow, magenta, and cyan, right? Right. Alright, what now? We got plenty of time until those white doors open. Yeah, about an hour it looks like.
I'm gonna go find Alice.
Of course. I'll come with you then. Clover gave her a shrug, and then the two headed out toward the cyan door.
Do I really need to say it?
The infirmary, right? You're gonna go check on Quark?
Yep.
He gave me a nod and trotted out through the yellow door. That left only 3 of us, Dio, Kay, and myself. What are you guys gonna do? Yeah, I think I'm gonna head over to the lounge and have a drink. You wanna tag along, Kay?
Are you making fun of me? I find it rather hard to drink with this mask on.
Oh, right, of course. My bad. Well, I'm out. Later. With a lazy wave of his hand, Dio slouched off toward the magenta door. It took me a moment to realize Kay was following him. Hey, what is this? You following me?
No, you must be mistaken. I hope to investigate floor B further. There are still several rooms I haven't visited.
Okay, you don't have to tell me your life story. See ya. Which she did do in the lounge, so there's that. Their conversation ended as they reached the door and stepped through it. Alright, what should I do?
Tonight's that eclipse, remember? What a way to end 2028, huh?
Of course. I need to get the rest of the story out of Tenmyoji. The words were scarcely out of my mouth when I set off at a dead run down the hallway and toward the infirmary. Huh? There's nobody here. The room was completely empty. I edged forward and peeked around the partition. There he was. Tenmyoji. He was standing next to Quark, apparently oblivious to my presence, looking down at something in his hand. A picture? I must have made some small noise because he suddenly looked up, saw me, and hastily shoved the photo back into his pocket. What was that? It was a photo of something, right? Was it yours?
Forget it. It's got nothing to do with you.
But all the stuff we had with us was, when we got grabbed, was taken away. Why were you hiding it?
Why should I tell you, tell all of you? Why should I tell all of you about one measly photo?
Anyway, where's Luna?
I asked her to leave. I wanted to be alone with Quark for a bit. So, why are you here?
I wanted to hear the rest.
The rest of what? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about that simulated man mission to Mars. We heard that recording about it.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about. I'm getting old. Memory's not what it used to be. I seem to be forgetting a lot of stuff lately.
Hey, nice try, pal, but you're not getting away with it this time. You remember something, alright? You remember so much you told me it'd take way more than 10 minutes to tell it all.
You're
really sure you want to know?
Huh?
Maybe I'll tell you and then you'll regret it. Maybe you'll wish you kept your full mouth shut. Just think about all the hopes you've got for the future, and all the happy memories of your past. What if what I have to tell you makes everyone...
Fuck me, dude.
What if what I have to tell you makes everything you've ever believed ring hollow, and the whole world just crumbles around you? You sure you want that?
Hey, come on, you don't need to threaten me.
This isn't a threat. I'm being honest here. Are you really, truly prepared?
Well, of course. I never got the chance to say I am. Before I could, Fi exploded into the room, her face a mixture of anxiety and fear. Good. There you are. Did something happen? Alice is... Look, just come with me, alright? She's in the number 2 cabin. That's a good place for her to go. Always bodes well whenever she goes there. Without waiting for a response, Fi spun round and ran back out of the room. Tenmyoji and I exchanged a quick, confused look, then leapt up and took after her. I'm talking too fast. I keep fucking it up. That's a different blade. Alice! The first thing I saw when I stepped through the door was the blossom of red on her chest. It felt as if I'd walked straight into a brick wall. I stopped short, my body refusing to move. No. Why did this happen? I forced one shaking foot forward, then the next. My legs began to buckle, and I put a hand against the wall to steady myself as my heart thundered in my chest. Calm down. Calm down. This looks pretty bad, but you don't actually know anything yet. Yeah, that's right. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe we can still save her. Then at last I pressed my fingers to her neck, and those hopes were dashed. No pulse. Clearly, she wasn't breathing either. Her pupils had dilated hideously, making her face seem somehow inhuman. No. No, it's not true. Why? Then I noticed it. All the blood must have distracted me, but now I saw that there was a scalpel buried in her chest. Judging by the position of its handle, she had been stabbed through the heart. I felt a sympathetic twinge of pain in my own chest, and my stomach lurched. Bile and hopelessness rose up in my throat. I stood, hands balled tightly into white-knuckled fists, and took a deep breath. Where did Dio come from? Okay. All around the room were the rest of the Nonary Games participants, except, of course, for Quark. I wanted to ask which one of them had killed her. Even if it had been one of them, though, there was no way they'd answer. All I could do was stare at each other, and each of them in turn, and ask myself, is this person a murderer? The looks they traded with one another suggested that I wasn't the only person wondering if they were standing next to a killer. An unsettling silence filled the room. Clover was the first to speak.
Who did this? Say something! Answer me! But please, Clover, calm down. We don't even know if she was killed. Then what happened? An accident? You think a scalpel just dropped from the ceiling and stabbed her?
Cool it, kid. No, that's Fi's voice. What the fuck am I doing? Cool it, kid.
You did it, didn't you?
Are you nuts?
Then who did it? Who killed her?
Clover, even if we assume that she was murdered, that doesn't necessarily mean the killer was one of us, does it?
Wait a minute. You went into the AB room with Alice during the last round, didn't you? Something happened in there, didn't it?
No, nothing happened.
Don't lie to me. There's no way Alice would just run off like that. She wouldn't leave me. Something happened. If she was going to leave, she'd tell me. She...
Hey, Clover. Don't you think just assuming Alice is murdered is jumping the gun a little bit?
How can you look at it and say that? Scalpels don't just stab people all by themselves. Oh, I see. I get it now. You're all in on it, aren't you? It wasn't just one killer. It was 6. No wonder you're so anxious to say this wasn't a murder.
Clover, please, just settle down.
Huh, fine. Show me some proof then.
Prove to me in 10 seconds that you didn't murder my friend, or I'm gonna kill every last one of you bastards! You're all going to die just like she did. Hey, hold on a minute. 9, 8, 7. Clover. 6, 5, 4. Clover. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Did I unlock this one already? Accidentally? Good for me. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide. Suddenly, Clover moved. I leapt forward and clamped my hand around her wrist. What are you doing? Clover, listen to me. Alice wasn't killed. Nobody murdered her. She took her own life. Ooh. I got an achievement called I Can't Believe It's Not Murder. What a fine achievement. Jesus. What? No, there's no way she'd do that. It's true. She stabbed herself in the heart with the scalpel. Alright, where'd she get the scalpel then? Well... I did hear someone coming into the infirmary after the AB game ended.
Was that before I showed up?
Da. I got up to see who it was, but they'd already gone. It could have been Alice. So she could have taken the scalpel then? Da, I think so. You're lying. This is all a lie. It has to be. It's not. It's the truth. Then why did she do it? Why would Alice kill herself? She probably didn't have a reason. What? She'd been infected with Radical 6. That's what killed her. But you just said she killed herself. Just tell me the truth. I am. Then prove it. Your 10 seconds ran out a long time ago, so if you don't have any proof... I do. I have proof. There was a journal in the lab, wasn't there, Kay? Show it to me.
Journal?
It would have been in the safe.
Oh, well, Alice would have it then.
Fi, can you... I don't feel right touching a dead woman's body. Could you take a look? Sure. Her hands barely shook as she quickly searched through Alice's clothing. It was only seconds before she stopped. Slowly and carefully, she drew something out. There it was. The journal. Fi turned to hand it to me, but I shook my head. You read it. It's in Latin. I can't make heads or tails of it. She cocked an eyebrow at me and flipped the small book open. When she looked back up at me, it was both with suspicion and surprise. Yeah, it is Latin. But translating this is impossible. It's full of words I've never heard before. I can barely understand any of this. Page 216. Page 394. Huh? Turn to page 216. You should be able to read that one. Fi's frown deepened, but she did as I suggested. I watched her eyes quickly scan the page before looking up at me with renewed suspicion. Yeah, I can read this page. How did you know? No, wait. How did you even know there was a journal in the lab? I just knew. You just knew. Come on. Look, just read it, okay? Clover wants to hear what it has to say. Right? Yeah. Right. Give me a moment to look it over. After a few moments of whispering to herself in Latin, Fi began to translate, paraphrasing the contents of the journal. Radical 6 reduces the processing speed of the brain by a factor of the root of 1/6. One of the symptoms of Radical 6 infection is an overwhelming urge to commit suicide. Research has shown it would probably respond to the right sort of antiviral medication, but no one has been able to develop one yet. Nearby towns are filled with the corpses of people who took their own lives. The uninfected have only barely managed to survive, and have been sent into underground shelters supervised by the government. Oh Lord, please. Let the future be a bright one. Fi shut the journal with a soft slap. A sickly silence drifted through the room. The newspaper article, the recording, the conversation with Tenmyoji, now this journal entry. There was no more hiding from the truth. The pandemic had already happened. All of Clover's rage suddenly dissipated, and she collapsed to the floor, tears pouring down her face. None of us had the heart to say anything, and for several long moments the only sound in the room was Clover's sobs. We've got a problem. It's almost time for the primary doors to open. Yeah, only 10 minutes left. Sorry, but I'll be taking Alice's bracelet. Fine, I won't be able to open the secondary door without it. So she was the magenta pair, just like me. Just now noticed that, did you? As he spoke, Dio grabbed the bracelet off the floor and dropped it into his pocket.
What color is your bracelet, Luna?
I'm a cyan pair.
You are part of Clover's pair, then. That means the two of you will need to come with me.
I guess so. Come on now, Clover. We need to go. Alice would want you to survive, wouldn't she? You'll never be able to figure out why all this happened if you stay here. Please. You're right. Alice, I promise I'll find out what happened to you. I'll figure out what Zero really is. I mean, if you'd never been locked up in here, this never would have happened. So it's like Zero killed you. I promise. I'll avenge you. Clover stood up and rubbed her hands thoroughly over her eyes, smearing tears across her cheeks. Then, with a determined frown, she strode out of the room. Alright, we're out of time. Move, people.
You guys head on down to Floor B warehouse. We'll catch up with you later.
Without you later. Oh, right. Quark's got the yellow bracelet, which makes him your partner, right?
Yeah, can't exactly leave him behind.
Without him, we'd be stuck in the AB room.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's go. We'll see the rest of you once we picked up Quark.
Very well. Until we meet again.
Very well, Mr. Brown. Beep, beep, boop, boop, bop, bop. What's up, boy?
Quark! You're awake!
Yeah, I just woke up. Hey, where's everybody else?
Oh god, Quark.
Tenmyoji's entire body shook with emotion as he drew closer to him. He cautiously laid a trembling hand on the boy's shoulder, almost as if he was afraid Quark would disappear in a puff of smoke the moment he was touched. When Quark proved to indeed be corporeal, Tenmyoji let out a cry and threw his arms around him. What's wrong? Are you okay, Grandpa?
It's nothing. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine.
But... Quark gave him a puzzled look. Tenmyoji didn't even notice. His face was a mixture of happiness and relief, and I could see tears twinkling from the wrinkled corners of his eyes. All traces of his usual gruff stoicism had vanished. I didn't want to interrupt such a happy reunion, but we were running out of time. Still, Tenmyoji deserved a few minutes. I left them alone. At last, Tenmyoji seemed to recover and shifted from an embrace to a protective arm around the shoulder.
So, how are you feeling?
Feeling? Well, okay, I guess. Was I sick or something?
No, you're not sick. If you feel fine, then you're fine.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I should never have gotten you involved in all this.
What are you apologizing for?
Sorry.
You're doing it again. Are you sure you're okay? So, where's everybody else? Mr. Sigma's here, but he's just been standing there looking kind of silly. I gave him a nervous smile and explained about the white doors. I got the feeling Tenmyoji didn't want Quark to know about Radical 6, so I avoided any mention of it. Alice's death was something I also left for later. Okay, that makes sense. That means I'm on a team with you guys, right?
Right.
So, these white doors, when are they gonna open? Well, we got about 4 minutes until the primary doors open. Ah! That's not good. We need to hurry, come on! How do we get to the Floor B warehouse?
Okay, we're going.
Follow me. Have we gone through all the white doors already? I don't think so. I think that K chucked Sigma and Phi through one of them. I don't think that we've gone through a second white door yet. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Chromatic doors have opened. 5 minutes remain until chromatic doors close.
You're late! Where the hell have you been? Quark? You're awake! And fully recovered, apparently.
I am so relieved to see you well again.
Me too. But wait a minute. What are you talking about? I looked at the others from behind Quark and held up a warning finger up to my lips. There were a few momentarily raised eyebrows and some nervous coughing as everyone suddenly felt silent. Huh? From Quark's perspective, it must have seemed especially odd. Anyway, there isn't any time left. We need to hurry.
But there are 3 doors.
Which team goes in which door?
All the doors are identical for this round. I believe it doesn't matter which team uses which door.
Then we're taking the one in the middle. Why that one? You want a kill shot, you aim for the center. You're more likely to just miss the extremes. That logic is flawed and more than slightly disturbing. Unfortunately, I don't really have a counter-argument, so center door it is.
I suppose we can go with the one on the left. Is that okay? I mean, we could go with the other one if you want.
Kay and Clover only nodded.
Well, there's only one left.
The door on the right.
Any objections? Alright, let's move.
30 seconds remain until chromatic doors close.
Hurry it up, Phi! This thing's gonna close. I know.
It's time we were going as well.
Right.
Sure.
Come on, guys, no time to waste.
Right behind you.
Let's go! 2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors closing.
Yeah. Wrist goes crickle crackle. The director's office. Oh yeah, we were here before, right? Egg? Two-headed lion. Okay. What's this place?
Probably the office of whoever it is that's running this place.
It said director's office on the door.
So this might be Zero Senior's office?
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Well, which is it?
Why the hell would I know?
We should look around. If this really is Zero Senior's room, there might be some clues. Yeah, you got a point. Let's get started then. We'll do that next time. Save. I've recorded 5 episodes this weekend. Fancy me. This over here. I'm gonna call it for today. And next time we'll go through the director's office. Should be a intriguing time. There was a fine purple balloon that looked like an egg. Easter egg. But yeah, cool. Good shit today. And then next time, some stuff with Tenmyoji and Quark. It's nice to actually have Quark for more than 3 seconds, even though my Quark voice is atrocious. So today's shoutout is related to last week's, or to the last time shoutout, and that is going to go to an actor named Giancarlo Esposito. Now, this is a man who I first learned about through Breaking Bad. I think a lot of people did too. That's kind of his first huge role, right? As the villain of season 4, more or less, Gus Fring. And he's amazing in this show. Truly just a stupendous villain. What Vince Gilligan was doing was they had Tuco in the earlier seasons, who was just this crazed meth drug kingpin, who, you know, was doing the product, and he was unpredictable and terrifying. And when they had needed to get rid of Tuco earlier than they were planning to, they were then like, okay, what are we going to do next? Because that's kind of thrown a wrench in our plans. We can't really do the same thing again because it'll get repetitive. So what they did was they were like, okay, well, what's the opposite of Tuco? And from that came Gus. Gus is a methodical, kind of sterile, clean kind of guy. And they wanted to have basically this season-long chess match between Walter and Gus in Season 4. And they accomplished the shit out of it. Gus is probably one of my favorite ever villains in anything. And Giancarlo Esposito has a lot to do with that. This dude is just... what an incredible actor. I fear that he's getting typecast as the villain in things now. Because he's going to be the villain in The Mandalorian Season 2. He's a villain in The Boys Season 2. I think that he played the Magic Mirror in that one Disney show. What was that called? Once Upon a Time? Anyway, which also had Caden in it as Jiminy Cricket. But anyway, yeah, I fear that he's being typecast as villains, but he's so good at it, it's hard to argue, really. So, I mean, yeah, shout outs to Giancarlo Esposito. What a fucking incredible talent. To be across from Bryan Cranston, another incredible fucking talent. To see these two really well-developed characters going head-to-head by really developed and charismatic actors being directed and written by such a ridiculously talented guy, Vince Gilligan, it made for just amazing television. And so, yeah, shout outs to Giancarlo Esposito. Fucking incredible. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. So I'll see you guys next time in the director's office. Later, players.